Hi, welcome to BW and welcome to Groundbreak 21. My name is Rob Frank, Customer Experience Director here at BW, and I'm presenting from our head office in London. I'm going to be joined by my colleague Maria, and together we are going to take you through data capture, analytics, and how it drives our strategy.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria Russo and I work directly with Rob in driving the customer experience strategy here at BW.
So we are BW and we are built with personality. We like to have individuality in our projects and our people bring authenticity to the business. And we like to differentiate ourselves by bringing that individuality into our business. We are a fast-track fit-out business. We work predominantly in London and the southeast of the UK, and we deliver high-end premium fast-track fit-out to global firms, as you can see in the picture. We work in the commercial office space environment and also for education. We're a business that works predominantly in occupied buildings. So a lot of what we do is about creating and building relationships. We have one strategy, which we will touch on throughout the session, which is defect-free, and we'll come to that. We have about 150 people in the business. We do projects up to 60 million, and our net promoter scores is 75. We have some partners around the world. We have sister companies in the US, HIT, and Shape in Australia, and we love to share innovation, ideas, staff, and also clients. We share clients around. So it's a fantastic partnership where we're able to learn and develop the three businesses. I mentioned defect-free, and it is our one strategy. And defect-free came out of us listening to our clients. So we talk about feedback, and this was one of the most important bits of feedback we ever gathered. Is we listened to our clients, and they said to us, predominantly, if you want to be recommended and get more repeat business, you need to meet these 4 requirements on delivering projects. And so these are what we call our client commitments, and they make up defect-free. And for a project to get that status of defect-free, it needs to finish without any snags, or if you're elsewhere in the world, have a punch list, a 0 punch list. The project needs to finish on time, so practical completion needs to be achieved, which is a contractual obligation in the UK, with operation and maintenance manuals delivered, and to be recommended. And if a project has those, it becomes known as a defect-free project, which is really important to us. And it's our one driver. It's the one thing that everyone focuses on, whether it be the board all the way down to everyone in the project on our sites and our supply chain. So what I would like to do is just give you a quick 45-second clip that kind of sums all of that up about BW and who we are. Here we go.
Hopefully that gave you a flavor of who we are here at BW. So today we're going to touch on feedback and how we collect those feedback and how we use it. And then I'm going to talk about Procore and the data that we can gather by using it. And then we're going to talk about the impact that the data and the feedback are having on our strategy. So back to Rob.
Thanks, Maria. 3 types of feedback basically we gather here at BW. That comes from our clients, that comes from our staff, and from our supply chain partners. And all of that forms a view for us that we can act on and try and improve our business. But fundamentally, we are a client-focused business, and we collect 3 major pieces of feedback and data in this environment. So we do a perceived user value, PUV we call it, every 2 years, whereby we ask the outside environment, our market, what they think of us. And this kind of puts a straight edge on our thinking. It allows us a very raw view of what the outside world thinks of us. We use that to focus on certain elements of our work and really kind of guide our strategy for up to a sort of 5-year period. We do what we call customer experience questionnaires, CEQs, which happen after every project and allow us to get a project view of the client perception of BW. And then throughout a calendar year, we're gathering informal, formal, direct and indirect data and feedback that allows us to put up mini projects all about improving the business. Our customer experience questionnaire is something we do with all our clients. We have 5 consultants on every project that make up, we think, clients, as well as the end user clients, and we conduct one of these with each of them on every project. It's a face-to-face. We've tried loads of different methods, technology, pinging emails, loads of ways of gathering this data, but the face-to-face session with a board member is the best. And we gather this information, and it helps us fine-tune where we need to focus and improve our business. This information that we gather is predominantly in 2 formats. We have the scores that are given, so it's very quantitative, and we also have qualitative, which is the comments, and that's the most important area. So, for instance, in this slide, 2,300 odd comments in 2020, and we divide those between the sort of touch points across the project, and then also between negative, positive, and neutral sentiment. And so at any given point in our project journey, we can tune in and find out exactly what clients are thinking about us, what their perception of us at that point is, and try and improve. And Maria will come on how we kind of use Procore then to decipher information to really fine-tune improvements in the business. We also do lessons learned, so every project has a lessons learned. This isn't your kind of traditional tick box exercise with the last meter reading on the electricity score, put in a file and save. This is very much a discussion by the project team. It's facilitated by a board member, so one of us will always facilitate this, and it means there's a direct conduit from our staff, the feedback they give, directly to the boardroom. It means we understand what's happening and we can focus again on what our staff and balance that with the customer experience questionnaire that we get. We have a supply chain database, which allows us to gather information on our supply chain. Most importantly, the scores that our site team give our supply chain, which then allows us to segment our supply chain and understand on our projects who we have working on what projects, whether it be a preferred contractor, an approved contractor, and a logged contractor. And that allows us to strategize better, to understand new entrants into the market, use existing supply chain, and mix and match. It also allows us to gather feedback from our supply chain, which is valuable for us as a business. The importance of this data captured to us, and specifically from a board perspective, is we get to understand the business. And we have many platforms in our business, technology platforms, Procore being one of them. And it's important that those platforms talk to each other. It's important that we have one single source of the truth. It's important that there's one data entry point, that the information that perhaps goes on Procore spreads across through open APIs onto our Salesforce, onto our supply chain database, into Coins, our financial system. And that data is alive. So we're making real-time decisions. And we think that makes smart construction. It's about continuous improvement, because at any time we can push a button and find live data and then improve the business with that data. Mobile technology helps us because most of what we use on Procore and most of the data we capture, the feedback we get, is through mobile technology, which allows people to enter it quicker and receive that information on the hop. And for us, that makes things much more efficient. And all of this data, live data, single source of the truth, that smart construction allows us to challenge our strategy, because in any given calendar year, we want to be able to kick the tires on our strategy and evolve it, change it, or just change a tactic on it based on that current data that we find. And as a business, that's our approach. It works for us, and we think we've got it right, following our strategy of defect-free. I'm now going to hand over to Maria, who's going to talk about the more acute capture of data through Procore.
Thanks, Rob. So we have rolled out Procore in our project in 2017, and it's used across all our projects, and it's the only data management system that we use. As Rob mentioned, can be used from different devices, but what we love the most is using it on our phones, because it allows us to be more efficient. And when you walk through the project, it's easier to record anything that we see instantly from our phone and read all the information that someone else has entered on the go. Through entering information on Procore, we are able to create different type of reports. So one of the reports that we use here at BW is the one you see on the screen. On the left-hand side, you will see all the activities and information that go in and out of a project, and on the right-hand side, you can see at a glance what's green, what's red, and what's under. So we know exactly how we are performing live in it, throughout all our projects. But we can drill the information down to understand the trends month on month, year on year. For example, we can see month on month submittals, RFIs, or punch lists, or which is what we call snags. But the beauty of using Procore is not only the data that we can gather at a company level, but the data that we can access on site. So as you can see on the screen, we have a screenshot of snagging tool, and the information, it's live, and you can see all our open snags, overdue, what's being closed, and most recently, how long do we take to resolve the snag. So in this project, the average days is to resolve a snag is 8.3. As a company, we aim to close everything within 5 days. But we never knew that we wanted to do that because we didn't have the data before. And now we have the data, so we know which benchmark we're going to use to assess that with. Other information that we can gather, it's by entering snags, we understand exactly how our supply chain performs. So how many snags have they entered, and since they began to work with us, and how long do they take to resolve it. And this data, it's thanks to the open API that Procore has, get transferred directly from Procore to our in-house supply chain database. So allow us a bigger picture when we look at specific trades. As I said, we generate a different type of report. The one you see on the screen right now, it's one of the reports that goes out every Monday to the board. On the left-hand side, you will have, it's all our live projects, and on the right-hand side, you will see the number of open snags on that specific project. This is a great tool because our board knows exactly where we are, and if there is a project that it's completing in 2 weeks and has a very high number of open snags, then the board knows that we will have to help the team or probably add a resource for them to be able to complete on time. So all these data allow us to learn things that we do very well and things that we need to improve. And every time we find things that we need to improve, we put together a workshop. So together with the entire operation, we can work to find solution and become more efficient. And of course, it ties into our strategy, which Rob touched on earlier on, which is defect-free. So completing snag-free on time with the O&M manuals ready at PC and being recommended. By entering each single snag into Procore has allowed us to understand how each of these snags affects the success of the project. So we now have divided those snags into how frequent those snags happened to our project and how big is the impact at the end, and how quickly we are able to resolve them. And we have also segmented those based on which trade is involved. And so these data allow us to be more efficient and allow us to have a consistent snagging method throughout our projects. Other examples of things that we'll be able to understand and improve thanks to the data that we enter on Procore, it's how do we deliver the project on time. One tool that we use is the scheduling or program. And by entering the program on Procore, we know exactly which activity we do very well and which one we struggle with. And thanks to that, we have now understood that one section of the program has always been very difficult for us, and we have rolled out collaborative planning exercise that our team on site undertake together with the client and the supply chain, which allow us to work collaboratively towards the end of the project. Most recently, we are trying to become more efficient when it comes to coordinating the RCP plan, reflected ceiling plan. And one element that is very important when coordinating the RCP is knowing exactly who is on that project, not just from the BW team, but also from client and supply chain. One thing that I like to always highlight is that the beauty of Procore is not just the data that we collect, but how easy it is for someone to come into the project and understand where we are. So if one team member goes on holiday, another one can join in and straight away get up to speed with the information, where we are at and what we need to do. And this is something amazing that Procore allow us to have. And all those data that we capture and feedback that we capture allow us to understand what we need to do on site to be more efficient. And one result is also the way we now set up our projects. You can see on the screen some of the pictures of our live sites. And as you can see, the office, it's very similar to the office that we have behind us, because we understood that that's the way everyone becomes more efficient and feel more comfortable. We pride ourselves to be the best to deliver the best-in-class O&Ms. And once again, Procore help us achieving that. So we collect all the information by using Procore, and the information that we collect transfer directly from Procore to our in-house O&M system. These allow us to have the information recorded, don't think about the technicality, and just focus on the delivery of a good quality operation and maintenance manual. But data can be very dry sometimes. And the way we like to share data here at BW and all the findings and all the reporting is through Yammer. Yammer allows us more flexibility, to be more engaging, and also to express our personality here at BW. Back to Rob with the impact.
Thank you. So all of this information that we gather through either corporate feedback from our clients, the perception they have of us, or the localized information we get from Procore on a project level, allows us to form a picture and allows us to improve our business. And at BW, that information transfers straight into results. And we measure ourselves through our Net Promoter Score and also our Customer Experience Score. The Net Promoter is more from a global level, and we're able to measure ourselves outside of industry against premium global brands. And then the CEQ score is more of a sort of a project local record of how we are doing. And as you can see, both of these are on the increase and on the up. So I suppose our approach is working, and that approach of listening to feedback, collecting data, that real live data, and acting on it is having an impact in our business, and we're seeing a benefit. It allows us also that if the basics are in place and if those are being measured and we trust that data, we can kind of lift our heads and start looking at the future. And for us, that's innovation. And that innovation comes in for us three kind of parts. We need to put in place the methodology and the motivation for our staff so they can innovate and they have the environment they can innovate. And also, we're allowed to evolve current processes and systems and then use technology. And having Procore allows us to do exactly that. And let's hope we work together with Procore to try and innovate more in this industry because it is needed. So the kind of benefits we see from all of this is gathering feedback and data collection, analyzing that, allows us to understand our customers, which ones are delighted, which aren't, which ones are promoters, and who are detractors. It allows us to know that at a click of a button, and it allows it to be live data that we trust. So we can understand who recommends us and where we are in the best position to get repeat business, which is vital when you are pitching for a new project to understand that client team and are they going to be on your side or not. It gives us visibility of that at a live timing. It improves working relationships. In our business, people want to work for a business where there's one strategy, we follow it, and everything is aimed towards that. People understand where they stand and they understand how they measure. And in that regard, most of our rewards, recognition, and awards are based around our strategy and are based around through the feedback that we get from customers. And we hope people take pride in that because it's an external measure, it's a third-party measure, and they are being judged by who are they delivering for. We see improved financial performance. Projects that achieve defect-free against those that don't make more money. And we're not ashamed of saying that. They do. And that's because we're more efficient. That's because we haven't got people left on projects at the end. That's because the projects finish at that date. And that's because we close out the punch list, we close out snags, and we don't have lingering work And that means improved financial performance. And our job is to convert all those jobs that aren't going to be defect-free into defect-free projects. And using data collection, using feedback allows us to do that. Long-term job security is a difficult one to answer, but you would hope, and people that work for a company where they understand how they're measured, they understand that perception that clients give them, they understand where they stand, they understand at the end of a project what the measures are of a success for that project. I think gives people security that they belong in a company, and hopefully means you attract and retain talented people. And we certainly see that at BW. And we have fantastic individuals who join us, and we prosper in their individuality and the authenticity that they bring us. So those are the benefits that we see, and hopefully we've shared with you how we gather feedback in our business from a corporate level, from a board level, and how we use that, and then from a very local level through Procore, and how all of that information all channels towards our one strategy of defect-free. And that's our story, that's our approach, it works for us, we certainly measure it. But what I'd like to leave you with is, very quickly, a clip which illustrates our industry. It illustrates the artistry and the emotion. And I think we are in a fantastic industry in construction and certainly in the niche of fit out, that we show this artistry and we show the workmanship that people give. And this short clip hopefully shows that. So turn the volume up, sit back, enjoy, and immerse yourself into the fit out experience. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you enjoyed our session. Enjoy the rest of Groundbreak. From me, thank you very much.
Thank you for me, and get in touch if you want to know more or you have any questions. Thank you.
Thanks.